Welcome to High Voltage Diesel. Do you want to see what my turd looks like? Come on, let me show you.
Well, here it is. Look at this big old turd. I bet you were just curious what that turd looked like. Man, there is so much bondle in here, we don't even know what to do with it all. This thing's just loaded. All these pits that they just filled in. No wonder this car is such a piece of junk. I'm not patient enough to DA this crap off, so we got solutions to problems. So hopefully this quarter right here on the driver's side comes out half as nice as the one we did on the passenger side, because this one's just beautiful. There should be no excuse for this quarter, because this one here only has just a little bit of rot right there, just a few holes. Man, that rust inhibitor just turns all the rust right off of this thing. We went through and we patched up all of our holes for the trim, just like we did on that side right there. We JB welded them all in, every single one, because we don't want to weld anything on this more than we can help it, because this quarter's nice and straight. You start welding stuff, you're gonna warp it. But unfortunately, we do have to weld a couple, this one and that one, because there's no way to get to these from the inside because the wheel tub is right in the way, of course. Stab it a little, kind of see where your problem areas are. You can't let this stuff fool you. Sometimes the holes will be there, but it'll still be soft all the way back in here. Just get your screwdriver and see what you got. I honestly think we're in pretty good shape. Alright, so I think we could just make a little patch that goes just like, we don't even have to fold it to the bottom. Everything's in good shape. We'll just make a patch that follows that. And we'll be in great shape. So there you got a couple different options to make a template with. You can just get a piece of cardboard like we've been doing and trim, but for something like this that's flat and that's pretty small, you could use tape, and that's what we gonna do. So we're gonna stay about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch back all the way around this one here, because we don't have to go that close. We're just gonna end it right there. And there's your shape right there. Simple. We'll just tape this to our shape. Simple as that. Look how easy that was. All we gotta do is just cut it out. You don't need no fancy tools for this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. It's about as easy as it gets right there. It fits in there really nice. We double checked, triple checked. Now we're gonna hold it up where we want it to go. There, so we got our patch panel so it fits in there nice and flush. Look at that. Fits beautiful. Sprayed a little bit of black paint in there, let it dry just for the heck of it. Why not? It's all tacked in. We're a little thin up there on the car metal, but that's all right. We'll fill it full of weld. Whoa, would you look at that? Look at how nice that looks. Oh, my. Beautiful job on a piece of junk. What a turd. You know, this thing is a turd, but it ain't nearly as much of a turd as a Peterbilt 589. Come on, guys, let's go. What do you think about those pieces of junk? So we have all our GB welded holes all wire brush down. We had to weld these two with the actual welder. We're all right. So we gouged them down just a little bit, and then we're gonna put some Duraglass in there just for some extra bond so we can get a sure seal. That ain't going nowhere. So the next thing we have to do is take our wire brush and get all of this. You can't see it on camera, but this stuff is really dusty. Residue on here, on our turd. We have to get it off. The directions on that stuff say that you could just primer right over top of this. Now, I don't know what kind of body shop they run, but it must be Carl's Body Shop, because just look at it. Why would you just primer right over that? I mean, they say you could just literally primer right over the chalk that it leaves behind. Would you want to primer over that? I mean, it just flakes off. And they do. They say just primer right over it. Just like all the guys that think their cars are solid when they got rust all over them. Oh, that's just surface rust. You could just paint right over it. Bunch of fools. This car's got surface rust, and boy, I tell you what, surface rust, well, this is what you got when you get a car with surface rust. Yeah, how's that for surface rust? You could just paint right over that though, and that'll be fine. You know how many guys that I argued with? There was a guy I looked at an orange duster with one time, and it was all rusted just like this underneath. It was packed full of Bondo, and he got mad because we were looking. There's a guy with a green duster that we looked at that was all surface rust just like this car. He goes, you could just wire brush and paint right over that and it'll be fine. And like the bottom of the doors literally looked like this. So apparently you could just wire brush right over that and paint right over it, and you'll be totally fine. So maybe those people are right. Maybe we'll learn something, but I ain't never seen it like that before. So we got this thing all masked off now, and it looks pretty good. We got all the holes pretty well filled in. And now it's time to spray a little bit of etch primer on it. Because what that'll do is that'll seal, that'll just lock everything in. Because we got some dents here, we gotta put some vinyl on, but we got all this nice fresh paint up here. And we really don't want any of that to get messed up, so we put some masking plastic over it. And then we just don't want any of this fresh paint getting messed up. So now that we got etch primer on the car, we'll go around with our hands, with our bare hands. And we're gonna go up and down the panels. We're gonna see where our problem areas are. We're just gonna do this, and so we're pretty good up here on the top of the body line. We got a little bit of a hiccup in our pickup right here. There's a little bit of a wobble. And we need quite a bit of work down here still. You want to familiarize yourself with the panel you're working on so you know where all the dents are before you mix up your bondle. See, now you can see there was a lot of, when you run your hand up and down this thing, it was like, what is going on around here? So we got her pretty good. We got a pretty good low spot, not bad. Low spot there, low spot there. And everything else looks, it feels really good now. So I'm happy. I'm gonna leave it like that. Got a little bit of a low spot down there. I'm just gonna skim a little bit and call it a day, because we don't, remember, these cars got these funky things here, so you don't want to just sand this thing right to nothing. Low spot number 1. It looks like Whistling Diesel owned this thing back in its previous life. Look at that. It got smashed all up. It's just really wavy. It looks like it got all dented and somebody tried like pulling it out. But she's beautiful now. It's pretty nice. Nice few heavy coats of primer. We blocked this thing again and then primer it again just like we did the other side. So we got our primer meow mixed up, ready to go. Let's see what this thing looks like. We primered right over 36 grit scratches. Will you look at that? Man, oh man, this thing's gonna come out looking like a garbage truck. Except it's a car! You can't do that! You can't primer over 36 grit scratches! Well, guess what? We did! And it's gonna come out looking great, because that's why you use urethane high build Finish 1 primer. Well, here it is next weekend. These are weekend projects on this car. Man, I don't even know where I left off, but this thing looks pretty sweet. You remember that I told you put tape on the body line to get nice crisp body lines? If you learned something, make sure you subscribe, darn it. Help me out! One of the reasons why we use the guide coat. What's guide coat? That's when you primer it the last time. Your last coat of primer, you put a little bit of dark color in the gun, or you could even use a spray can with some black paint or whatever. And then you just dust it over. Basically just get a little bit of it on. And what that does is when you start sanding, you can see all your problem areas. And you can see we got a lot of problem areas. Look at all this. All this is all imperfection. The light parts are the high and the dark parts are the low. It didn't take much sanding to get to this part. But that's okay. That's why we're doing this process. This is exactly what we expect. And this is all the whole point of doing this. So we're just gonna keep sanding with this long board, except when you start to hit metal really bad, then you stop, because you don't want to sand down into the low areas because you'll defeat the whole purpose. You want to sand the high areas down till you just break through the metal, primer it again. And you want to keep doing that process until you don't have any more low spots. There, we got the top half of this thing all sanded. We exposed our high spots and our low spots. So obviously the bare metal spots are the high spots, but man, we are feeling good. And everybody that said, you can't primer over 36 grit scratches. Well, look at how good these scratches look. You know, one more coat of primer and they'll be buried right in. All this here was all 36 grit and it is just beautiful. That'll just sand right out. We got quite a few problem areas on this side. This side was a lot more solid than the other side, but this side here's got a lot more dents and just imperfections that we got to work out. But oh, if you could feel this, it feels really good. That next coat of primer is really gonna make this thing look good. You won't really see the body lines and all that stuff come to life until you put your second coat, but you can feel it. And you can see there's a lot of kind of unevenness. Don't sand that like this. Don't go off with your sandpaper and sand all this. Don't touch this. All these low spots, just leave it alone. That's what your primer's there to do, is build them low spots up. If you sand these low spots, you're not gonna do anything. You're gonna accomplish nothing. Only thing you need to do with these low spots is just get your red Scotch-Brite and just go over it and scuff it up just so the next coat of primer sticks. That's all you gotta do. You ain't gotta go nuts here. You don't want to knock anything down that's already low. You don't want to make it lower and do the primer limbo. So now we're gonna take our self-etching primer and just go over the bare metal spots. That's all you gotta do with this stuff. You don't have to waste the whole can going over a bunch of garbage. Good enough. Look at that. We're all ready to meow mix a little bit of primer up. Look how good that looks the second time around. It always looks so much better the second time around. Nice straight body line. We still got a little hiccups in our pickup here. There's a little bit of a dent there, a little low spot. A couple little spots down there we'll have to work out. But all in all, it came out beautiful. Now remember, we're gonna be sanding this and primering it one more time before the car's painted. And we're gonna sand and primer the entire car next time. So once the trunk, the roof, which is done, and everything is done, actually it's ready now. The only thing I have left to do is pull the trunk and sandblast around the trunk jam and pull the back bumper and sandblast in there. And this car's ready. This body is ready for paint. The roof has been done like 2 or 3 times. This is twice, the other one's twice, the trunk is twice, and we are looking excellent. That's where this stuff kind of gets boring, because you're just doing dirty work and dirty work and dirty work, and it seems like you just never get there, and then one day it's painted and it's like, whoa, where did that come from? But it will pay off.
End of transmission.